And welcome back to the 8 Spot Podcast. I'm Wilson.
I'm Eric.
I'm Jay.
And I got tired of seeing Eric rub his nipple.
You're not the first person.
I never get tired of that.
I didn't need to see that. I wasn't ready for it. That's what it was.
No, you needed to see it.
If I was ready for it, it'd be different.
It wasn't the nipple you wanted, but it was the nipple you deserved.
But it wasn't the nipple I needed.
You're complaining more about this nipple than you did when I had a cock on my TV screen for Mark.
I am. Because the nipple was real. The cock was just an image.
So if I send you a picture of my nipple, you'll be okay?
Yes.
As long as no, you can put up male nipple on Facebook.
And as long as it's not
It's the female nipple that's apparently illegal.
Imager? No. Instagram. Instagram doesn't like female nipples.
Right, so they
Neither
take male nipples and put them over.
Yeah, I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
And
it's also very disconcerting when you look at them.
Yeah.
It looks weird. It's like, what's going? They're not even photoshopping them right. There's like putting them there like salamis over nipples. I mean, like, it's really weird looking.
I tell you, it's the bad Photoshop that really bothers us about
Yeah,
it,
that's really more than anything else. Like, what's called? If it looked like natural, then I guess.
I think they want it to be obvious, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they would need it to be for the quote-unquote movement, but still, bad Photoshop.
Bad Photoshop is bad Photoshop.
It's so bizarre how so many arbitrary rules are out there about, like, little bullshit things that really, like... I mean, these are obviously not pornographic. Like, we're talking about, like, tasteful nudes, breastfeeding, all these different things that are banned.
I understand Facebook has taken the ban off of breastfeeding and nipples on artwork. But it's just regular female nipples that they're against.
Yes. If nipples are free during the day, they have a problem with them.
Yeah.
And...
we even have it where they're complaining about the nipples in Times Square.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is ridiculous because they're painted over.
I don't...
And frankly, if you're in the middle of angry New York, you know, a nipple isn't that big of a deal.
I heard those women were making a lot of money.
That's fine.
No, because that goes against the law. If they're asking for money, they can't have you topless.
No,
they're getting tips. They're different. They're entertaining.
No. The law is about if it's the money is sexual in nature. You can take a picture with somebody and charge somebody. There's nothing. You're supposed to be an art and all that stuff.
Which, by the way, they're starting to talk about doing that at Comic-Cons now.
What?
Where the cosplay people are charging.
What are we starting to? Did people do that already?
I wasn't aware that they were doing that.
Yeah.
Charging to get a picture with the cosplayer.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why there's so many cosplayers.
The people who have a table, a lot of them charge already. If they're walking down the thing, they won't charge. But like, if you want to get a picture with them and stuff like that, a lot of them, not a lot of them, but there are people who charge.
Well, I can see people at a table doing that because they got to pay for the booth.
Yeah, they're selling photos of themselves, and they're going to charge extra if you want to be in a picture in them, with them, not of them. Which is a lot of because.
Is that any different than Sergeant Slaughter charging for a picture?
No, I don't. I don't have. Well, I have no problem with it. The only problem I've ever had with cosplayers and stuff like that is them not realizing how much it hurts artists and writers, like emotionally, to see them losing money to them.
Or take a picture in front of your table and block you getting... Well,
that doesn't matter. That doesn't bother me anymore.
It bothers the hell out of me.
Let me finish. Any more so than anybody else who does it. Like, it doesn't have to be cosplayers. Like, it could be regular kids just deciding to take a picture and block out other people. It doesn't matter who it is.
I don't find regular kids doing that. I find cosplayers stopping at the table and deciding to drop their shit on the floor in front of your table and spend 20 minutes having their pictures taken for everyone that's standing there.
Yeah, it does happen, but I'm just saying that it wouldn't bother me any more or less than if it was anybody else.
I think it would bother me more if they started exchanging money at that point. Because now you're kind of... I mean... I'm not saying that the person who is taking the picture is going to spend money at my booth, but you're still blocking my business to make business.
No, I agree with that. I understand. Like, because part of the reason why I have an issue with that is because are you now in the middle of the table, of the, what's it called, the convention doing business, like in front of my thing? Mm-hmm. You're blocking traffic again.
Yeah.
That anything that blocks traffic in front of my table, I don't like. But I don't care what it is. Mm-hmm. I don't. If it's the fucking security guard just standing there and being in the way, and he's not doing anything but just being in the way, I don't like that either. It doesn't matter. You put a fucking one of those scissor lift things because they're putting something up, and I'm like, you couldn't have done this yesterday. that bothers me too. It's not. I don't give a shit who it is. But I do understand, like, if you have an older artist or older writer who's been struggling, and he's trying to sell his work, and he's just watching these girls who guys making their money, just getting pictures taken of them and stuff like that. I can understand the reason why they feel anger and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can understand that too.
I'm not saying that they have necessarily have to ban cosplayers, but some of the cosplayers just have a little bit of empathy. It's like, you're making money for what these people see as doing something fairly easy. You're dressing up. And I mean, there might be a lot of work going into the cosplay, like a lot of the physical training just to look right in the thing. There's a lot of research for developing the costumes and stuff like that. There might be a whole bunch of shit like that. But that artist isn't seeing that. That artist is seeing, I've worked in comics for like 20, 30, 40 years.
Here's some kid in a costume. What the
I
hell?
usually make $2,000, $3,000 at a con. Now I'm making $400, and meanwhile, this chick across from me, or this guy across from me, is getting paid $20 every 5 minutes to get a picture with him.
Mm-hmm. That does remind me of a story I heard. I think you told it maybe about Sergio Aragones. How he just drew so fast that someone asked, like, why he was charging so much.
Right. It's the as the legend goes. Is someone came up to Sergio Aragones and asked for a sketch, and he said it cost this much, and the guy's like, okay. And then Sergio did the sketch, and he's incredibly fast. Did the sketch, gave it to the guy, and the guy was like, why do I have to pay this much if you did, it took you 5 minutes to draw? And it's like, but you're not paying for the 5-minute drawing. You're paying for the last 40 years it took me to learn how to draw that fast.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that story.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth to it. It's like,
and by the way, he could draw with both hands.
That's insane. I was like, what's called? I don't think it's ever been videotaped, but I've heard numerous people who said that they saw him draw where he just looked at the paper and just starts going with both hands and starts laying. And I'm like,
he has the ability to look at the page, see the image, and he's just tracing the image he sees in his mind.
That's cheating.
I haven't got there yet. I'm actually closer to it with the mark, by the way. I've been reading the script, looking at the paper, and just drawing what's there. I've recorded a few of them, too.
Well, I'm kind of happy we're at the point where we're actually drawing it now. That's good.
Well, isn't it great? I'm actually ahead, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the whole mishmash of having JP'd and not having JP'd and having, trying to figure out someone to get on a regular basis. And it's good that Wilson's able to build up a little bit of a backlog, because who knows what other contract work or outside work we're going to get when it pops up. So, yeah.
And the ones with the JP drawings on there are colored quite nicely. I think I did his work translates very well.
And the inks are okay, too.
The inks aren't bad at all. LJ's been doing the inks on the JP pages.
Now,
and they look good.
Do your arms hurt when you pat yourselves on the back like that?
No.
Not at all.
I stretch first.
You figure you'd be surprised, but no.
You gotta get some stretches in there first.
I don't even have to, drink tea with lemon before I sing my own praises. It just comes out.
If I have to, I pat myself on the lower back. It's still the back, but...
This is the yin and yang that is me and Wilson. I don't even like talking about the fact that I work on stuff.
The writer's shame.
Well, it's not just... We will be at a table, and Wilson will be like, I worked on this project and stuff like that. Would you like me to sign and stuff like that? And I'm in the corner, and since Wilson's already got the spiel going, I don't interrupt or anything like that. I'll do the spiel if they come up to me. And in the middle of it, he'll be like, if you want, Wilson can write it. Eric can sign it for you as well.
Because,
who's Eric? It's like, he's a writer. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love for him to sign it. When I do the spiel, I only mention the artist. I'm like, would you like this artist? And they're like, they'll be like, who are you? Oh, I just wrote it. Like, we wanted you to sign it too. I was like, all right, if you want.
I mean, I'm just a writer.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything on this book, really.
You're not helping our cause.
You are aware you have to be your own cheerleader.
Huh?
You have to be your own cheerleader.
Because Wilson won't.
You'll get an afterthought when
That's
he
the reason
sees...
why I created the company. I can push the company. I can't push myself.
I don't see why not.
As an afterthought, if he sees you at the table, he mentions you.
No, I do my best to try to remember the other people that work on the project. I still remember.
I try to remember the little people.
I try to remember because I remember being at the table and someone's like, "Are these your books?" Like, yes, they're mine. You did these all? Yes, I did. And all I heard was Dee and Eric from behind me go, "Only you?" And I was like, "Yes, only me."
Like he could hear it as we all both turn. It's like, really?
I give credit where credit's due.
If you're reminded, and you said that off mic.
No. Matter of fact, when I was on another podcast, Studio
You cheated on us?
Yes, Studio Synergy with
slut!
Peter Palmiotti. We talked about Gydogen, and I made sure I named everybody who worked on that.
Go ahead. Name them.
Nadir Ballin, penciler and inker. Tom Chu,
Right.
colorist.
Go on.
Mark Rivera,
Okay.
writer.
I think the writer should have been first.
You'd think he would be. And I didn't do too bad of a job lettering it.
Well, how would you know? You did that before you finished lettering it.
Wait. All you did was letter your own book?
Huh?
All you did was letter your own book?
No,
That
on
particular book.
Gydogen I lettered that book.
Gydogen. Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
mentioned
thinking
Gydogen.
Team Kaiju. I'm mixing them up.
No, Team Kaiju. I did the
Kaiju's
pencils,
an actual
colors,
word.
and inks.
Gydogen, we just made the fuck up.
Yeah. No, Gydogen.
Like, I literally just made that word up.
What?
Gydogen.
Oh, okay.
Like, people think it's like
Like
some
right
sort of-
now.
Like, people think it's some sort of like a foreign language or something like that. I'm like, no, I need something that sounded like alien language and stuff like that. And Romulan and the Klingon were already taken, so I was like, but what's it called? Yeah.
So yes, I do my best to make sure everyone else is named. But my name does go in there. A lot.
And first, often.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
He did name the deer first when he named both Gydogen.
Well, no, here right now because he's talking, and he knows we have him on the spot, so he made himself seem humble by going last.
Exactly. But I went last in the other thing, if I remember correctly.
If you
What
remember,
other
correctly.
thing?
When he cheated on us,
Oh,
the slut.
Cheat on you. Although I did introduce myself as Wilson Ramos from At the A Spot podcast. And I think, I'm sorry, I went right into that mode. But that's okay because I like to visit other podcasts too. This one is my second one.
you hussy.
Hey, I'm just trying to spread the word of Section 8.
If you remember.
I always remember. I always talk about Section 8. I always give that as the website to go to find my stuff.
Okay.
The 8 Spot Podcast. Or Section8.com. Or the8spot.com.
Why don't you try Section 8 Comics?
Yeah, that too.
That-
Actually, I usually send everyone to the8spot.com.
Okay. Did you get Section8.com? Or was that taken?
I don't think we have Section8.com.
Yeah, so you're
We
sending
have
them the wrong...
Section8comics.com. We have the8spot.com.
No, I always send them to the8spot.com,
Okay.
and occasionally I'll say Section8comics.com.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm on the spot, yeah. When I'm on my own, I'll mess it up, because people got to get on our website to get here anyway.
We're going through iTunes.
Huh?
Are we on Stitcher?
Huh?
Are we on Stitcher?
We might be.
Okay.
I registered us in like a bunch of them. I found like a list of 100 places that you can put us on, and I put us on all of them.
Which reminds me, I think you have to check the Apple one, because I haven't got like
That'd be iTunes.
the iTunes one. Yeah, I haven't got like an update on ours in a while. And I'm not sure if that's something in my settings are messed up, but it just didn't seem like we're...
You should be getting something
getting
soon.
updated.
What's it called? Don't forget, we took a little break, so that was...
Did we? Okay.
Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
it's called.
I just wanted to make sure that we're where it's supposed to be.
I think the gap from 59 to 60 is going to end up being about 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. But
Because I want to make sure the people out there can ignore us on as many platforms as possible.
But what's it called? Yeah, I believe 59 to 60 is where what's it called? It might be 58 to 59, but I'll double check. But I believe we basically end up taking a 3 or 4 month break, trying different things and stuff like that. And we have stuff that I just don't feel comfortable putting up just because of sound quality and other things that just didn't work out.
So it's not content.
Huh? No, we're equally bad always.
Okay.
So I mean,
I just wanted to make sure.
It's on Stitcher.
But, what's
We're
the-
on Stitcher. Jay confirmed.
How do you find us on Stitcher?
I have no idea. How do we find us on Stitcher, Jay?
It's at the 8 spot.
There you go.
Except I think
You
But if
sure
you're-
about that?
If you're listening to
You
us
almost
on,
sound embarrassed.
but if you're
No,
listening to
there's
us on
spaces
Stitcher,
in
you already know how to find us. Hi, Stitcher. Listeners.
Do we get paid for Stitcher?
We don't get paid from anything right now.
Fuck them.
No, they're carrying us. That's right now a good thing.
That's
They're
what they do.
What are they doing to us?
Carrying us.
Oh, carrying us. Yeah.
What do you think I said?
The word made no sense. I had to
They're
ask.
carrying us?
They're curing us of what? Obesity? They're failing.
Yeah, I still have these chips.
So Sesame Street is moving over to HBO?
What?
It's about time.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
I didn't read. Go on, Eric.
From what I understand, I believe it's a 5-year
I
contract.
didn't read.
or 2-year
Eric can tell
contract. But HBO worked out a deal where they will have first run Sesame Street episodes for like the next X amount of years, and will hold exclusive rights to those episodes for 8 months, basically.
9
9 months?
months, and then PBS could air them.
Yeah, so basically an episode appears on HBO, 9 months later it can go on PBS.
So how are they going to teach the children who are poor and could only afford PBS?
Gotta wait 9 months.
They still have the older episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like it's not like they're doing topical humor.
Actually, they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Sesame Street does topical humor.
Yeah, they've done a couple of Doctor Who spoofs. They've been doing these.
Not really topical.
Yeah, keep going. Let me know when
I was with you, but then you lost me.
Okay, then. Well, since I have no idea what I'm talking about, what I'm saying is that aren't you going to...
Oh, so they don't do topical humor. All right, there we go.
Okay, fine.
Because don't forget, Sesame Street is all about learning, and it's not like learning changes that much.
No,
And it's not going
probably
to change in 9 months that
Are they going
much.
to teach us Common Core now?
I don't think so.
No, because I think they proved that doesn't work. Now they're trying to figure out how to get it out of schools.
Don't suck it into to the mic.
It's a matter
now
of...
you do it.
Great.
You're doing it to be a
Because
dick.
apparently
Yes.
teachers are killing themselves over Common Core.
Well,
Well,
We did that.
we talked
did we
about
did
that.
about that already?
We
We
talked
did?
about that
Okay,
one.
never mind.
Moving
guys.
on.
Moving on.
Yeah, but this way Sesame Street actually gets a much needed money. It doesn't cost PBS anything. They still get new episodes. They just don't get them right away. I actually think this is actually a fairly good deal. Mm-hmm. Had it been an exclusive deal, like completely exclusive, I would be annoyed with it.
They may not have done that.
They did. They did not, according to the article I read. Maybe the article got it wrong.
No,
According to the article I
everything
read-
I've read, it's not exclusive, but I don't think Sesame Street Workshop would have done exclusive.
No, I don't think they should have and stuff like that. But I think this is a wonderful thing because, like
Yeah.
it's called, you can now up the production value of Sesame Street. And
Because the Muppets
Huh?
didn't look real enough before.
more along the lines of like what's called. I think that if they want to do more on location stuff, they could. Mm-hmm. Like what's called like thinking about what they are, and now that HBO controls them, they could actually go to historic places.
I never learned how to get to Sesame Street.
Well, I think they actually did a skit
Yeah,
with Game of Thrones.
yeah, they did.
They did a skit with House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Yeah. You don't know what House of Cards is?
Oh yes, the show.
Yeah. And these are adult shows. And I'm watching it, I'm like...
They do.
Is it on Sesame
like,
Street
they-
or is it the Muppets? 'Cause the Muppets does a lot of topical-
Sesame
This was Sesame Street. wasn't it?
Sesame Street has done a lot of like skits with adult products. So
I was impressed. I was like,
So I mean, I'm a grown ass
was the
man.
last time you
I
watched
haven't watched
Sesame
Sesame Street in a while.
Then you're missing out
Elmo
on
was
quality
gangsta.
entertainment.
What the hell are you singing?
Game of Thrones theme.
Game of Thrones theme.
You would know if you didn't drop it in 3 episodes.
Well, you would have heard it in those 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Do you listen to the theme songs, or do you?
I don't think you
bypass
paid
them?
attention during these episodes, to be honest with
How
you.
many years ago did Game of Thrones start?
5?
Hell if I know.
So say 4 years ago, I tried 3
I only
episodes.
started watching it last year.
So say 4 years ago, I tried 3 episodes. This theme song was not that noticeable that it stuck after 4
It
years.
stuck with me. Every time you watch the damn thing, the next day you just got it stuck in your head over and over again.
You're impressionable too.
I am. I watched a commercial that had cookies. I had to go out and buy cookies. I think I'm the demographic they were going for.
Fat?
Cookies.
You're a cookie?
No, I'm just fat.
All right, so what's called?
If you'd like to bring us cookies at conventions, let us know.
They have to
just
be in
bring
sealed
'em.
packages.
We take cookies and root beer.
Storage root beer is friggin' awesome. That's
What?
all I have to say about that.
Storage.
Stewards.
Stewart's, yes.
Stewart's anything
Stewart's
is
is
fucking
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I did not find Stewart's out until I went to college. There was a Stewart's store, like 3 blocks away from my my dorm. So I went to go get some know me, I'm fat, probably chips, Reese's peanut butter, and I found Stewart's. The Stewart's sodas were like everything else was like $1. The Stewart's sodas were like 50 cents. I'm cheap. I bought 2. I drank 1 on the way back to the dorm. I downed that so quickly that I drank the other one. I finished both bottles before I got to the orange cream soda. Like the first time I ever tasted this thing. I was like, oh, this is pure happiness. Oh, my God.
That's how I feel about the root beer.
Yeah, what's called? They had an ATM at the Stewart's, and I used to get my some money just to toss in somebody, I think, every 2 weeks. So I would go there, take out the cash, and spend about $10 on Stewart's soda. And the idea was that the soda was supposed to last me, because we had a fridge. Soda was supposed to last me 2 weeks. I was supposed to moderate it. And
Nope.
by law, by statistics, it did last me 2 weeks. Because I ran out of money before the next 2 weeks. I couldn't buy more. College, I didn't have a job at the time, so it was just basically whatever funds I would get tossed in every now and then from my parents. And I swear to God, it was the funniest thing. So there were times where I was just like, I'm about to suck a dick for money. I fucking broke and shit. Just waiting for like 4 days later when money would pop into that account.
Not thinking he's a writer and he could have wrote other people's
He wasn't a
term
writer
papers.
I wrote
You're on
How,
mic. Don't
how
forget
many
that.
years?
Statute of
I
limitations
may
up
have
yet?
helped certain people in certain ways to do.
Isn't it a shame that
Pass
sucking
their-
a dick is probably a better way of earning money and admitting that than it is for... Would it be plagiarism?
Well, he's
no.
not naming names, so I think he's fine. He wrote papers.
He wrote
Whether or
papers.
not he turned them in is different.
I never turned in somebody else's work.
Okay.
I gave it to them to turn in.
We're not saying that.
That's
We're
what
saying you wrote papers.
Yes.
They got turned in. That's all we're saying.
I actually did that as recently as...
What time is it?
LJ did that as recently as a few months ago. About a year or two ago.
I wrote a paper for somebody on Twilight. Which means I had to read the
Wait,
book
so
and
you
watch-
wrote the last Twilight book?
No, it would have been better.
That would have been funny.
He retconned the
Twilight
first 3
World
books.
is so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
He would have retconned the first 3 books in the first 3 pages.
Oh, wait a minute.
He would have ended it with Blade showed up.
Did the teacher decide that these papers had to be done about this paper had to be done on Twilight? Or?
This is what had happened was
As the legend
it was a
goes.
film class, and they had what's it called they had to do a comparative,
Can I get a
a
regular?
book and movie thing, and it was a long-term project. So you were supposed to have been doing stuff along the way. So she had submitted the what's it called the initial thing at the beginning of the semester, and about halfway through the semester, her other classes got to be really hard work. So she's like, I haven't had a chance to what's it called. Why are you whispering? What do you want?
I want a beer.
You want a beer? What kind of beer you want?
One of these.
Oh, okay.
The ones that are by you. You don't drink, but they're all by you.
I'm keeping them by the fan because it's the only coolness we have right now.
I'll accept that.
Okay.
And I apologize.
Do you want another beer?
No, I'm good.
You?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. So what was that? Yeah. So since it was a long-term project like that, and she was halfway through, she was like, I don't have time. I can't. She lost her damn mind, and then she told a friend told another friend, and somehow I got a call saying, "Can you write a paper?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can write a paper, no problem."
I could write a paper.
I had to come up
wrote a
with
paper, and it wasn't what the one that we wanted.
I had to come up with a advertising concept for a friend of mine who was taking an advertising class. She could not think of a concept at all. And it was like for Levi's. And I was like, well, that's easy. You start the concept with know your genes, meaning you got Levi jeans. They've been around for the last 100 years. Do a history thing with it, and it's like fairly easy. So it was like, and she ended up getting the A or something like that. It's like, man, I had an advertising concept.
Did you guys get any out of this?
Huh? Did I?
Either of you?
No.
I got paid.
Did you at least get paid or no?
I ain't got nothing.
Oh, wow.
Last time I wrote a college page, I got ass.
So you're the winner out of the three of you. Okay.
But that was still like 10 years ago.
And he was pretty happy.
Well, that wasn't the last time you got asked, right? That was just the last time you got paid for it.
Yeah, that was the last time we got paid for the paper. Last time we got paid for
I
ass
ain't
was
talking about last time I got asked.
Yeah, no, I was called. I didn't know
8 years ago.
Oh,
No,
it was a friend of a friend of a friend type of deal.
You
They
or me?
referenced me.
no, so me. 7 years ago, yes.
Sounds like
Go
a scene
do
from
the math,
Ant-Man.
we'll get you
I have
mad.
loose morals, all right. And I need money. Look, conventions don't come cheap. When I was called, think about how much New York Comic Con costs. I'm like,
You could have got a Cintiq with that money.
I already got you a tablet, motherfucker.
Thank you.
How much was that one?
I don't remember. Look,
Like
I paid for
$400.
them, and then what's it called?
A few $100.
I pay for them, and the memory goes out of my mind because if I think about all the stuff I spend on
All you wanna do is
you
cry.
people, I would just cry. What's going?
I need a new scanner.
Huh?
Knowing to myself.
He's not on the mic. He doesn't have headphones, so he can't hear those little comments yet.
You motherfucker!
What?
When's the last time you scanned anything?
I have things to scan.
What do you have to scan?
Animal, Snoopy.
No, you don't, because I scanned those for you and I sent them to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta find
You
that
don't even
file.
have the images. I have the images because I scanned them.
Good, because I've been looking
Yeah.
for that. God, I thought I lost those.
You son of a bitch.
Would you let me know what file that you sent them as?
I sent them to. I'll let you know off mic, but I sent them to you like right
As a
after the show.
PDF?
Yeah.
Alright. I gotta look for those.
I emailed it to you and I was like, "Are these good? Let me know. I can try them in a different format." And you're like, "No, these are fine." That's the last I heard from them.
How long ago was that?
I may need those pills you keep talking about. Like
Viagra?
drug use? No, cocaine.
Oh.
That's not what keeps me mellow.
Viagra?
That doesn't keep me mellow either.
I don't think that would keep you mellow. Prozac?
Don't do drugs, kids.
Cookies.
Okay.
Cookies keep me happy.
Yeah,
But does
chocolate
it
can
make
be
you
considered-
remember anything?
It makes me remember I want
like
cookies.
Okay.
You know what? Now I just want to go to the Alamo to get cookies.
I'm going tonight.
Okay, good for you. What are you going to say?
Mission Impossible.
Again?
Yes.
Okay.
Female involved, so.
All right.
Cheers.
Have fun with that.
I hope you get some cookies from the Alamo because they're good.
I never had
They
them.
are good.
They're warm and moist.
We're talking about cookies, right?
What?
Yeah, that far off look in your eye. Like, I gotta call her.
I gotta call Cookie.
She's made of cookies.
Got a nice creamy center? Those cookies do. They're tasty.
Chocolate filled.
But they're very messy.
The good ones are.
We're still talking about cookies, right?
I don't even know anymore.
Doesn't matter.
There are 4 lonely, sweaty men in the room.
I'm not sweating.
Huh?
I'm lonely, but I'm not sweaty.
Really?
Yeah.
You just look hot.
I know, it's weird. I don't sweat that much. I break the stereotype of a sweaty fat man.
You can't be part of the stereotype of a sweaty fat man.
I know.
You're just a fat man.
Right?
Don't worry, I can say that. I'm one too.
Yeah, that's why I'm not arguing the point.
Really? You don't look fattish?
My father was fat and my mother was Dutch Irish.
No. But I understand that your grandma was quarter Dutch.
My grandmother was actually Dutch. It was funny because
Could use
one
that
of my
joke
one of my coworkers did a DNA test and found out that he's part Native American, and this blew his mind because he thought he was full-blooded Italian. It's like what's called like he's like,
Like full blooded, as in when he talks, he uses his hands.
yeah, like that kind of.
Uh-huh.
And like what's called like if he was younger, he'd be like a Jersey Shore reject type of deal.
Really?
Yeah, like what's called. You can see him as being like the father of one of these guys from New Jersey.
A proto one?
Yeah, and so
Turns out people from Jersey Shore don't like that show.
well, I'm
Yeah, 'cause
referring
they're all
to the
people who
show
live in
people. I'm not talking
Staten
about
Island during the rest of the year.
What?
what.
They live in New York during the rest of the year. They just go to the Jersey Shore to act like assholes.
Well, no one lives in Jersey unless they have to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
For my family in Jersey. Well, I'm glad you're listening.
but what's called? I've been thinking about doing the genetic test also just to see what my heritage is, because I mean, being Puerto Rican and having such a mix of different cultures and stuff like that and different ethnicities stopped here. I'm really curious. Like, I might be like 90% British. Who knows? I mean, like, what's
Yeah.
I mean, with the different settlers that were there, I have no idea. I mean, my grandmother looks on my mom's side looks like a Taino Indian, like what's called. Like she looks like she.
She ate some hearts.
Yeah, our grandmother was.
Yeah, like what's called. Like she looks like she came off the mountain. Like what's called. Like who are these white people? And meanwhile, my.
Yeah, like on my mother's side, with my grandmother, yeah, Taino Indian. My father, his heritage can be traced back to Spain.
Yeah, like my father's side, they found out his heritage is back to Dutch settlers of Puerto Rico and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know if this is true. I have no idea if this is true.
As the legend goes.
As legend goes, because this is. I don't really like to talk about politics too much, but this one's interesting.
Because it's funny.
Oh,
It's humorous.
I
Why
did.
don't I
makes you
let
go,
you tell
huh?
the
Makes
tell
you
the
go,
tale? Tell the tale.
So
Tell.
there are multiple transcripts of this speech that Trump gave.
Oh, okay.
And
Tell me
I
he's
can't
Mexican.
tell if what's called. So no one. Apparently, this wasn't filmed. This is just people are transcribing what he said. But supposedly, he said that what's called. If he was made president, he would revoke Puerto Rican citizenship. He doesn't think they're real Americans.
Right,
What?
and apparently
Yeah.
the legend is that
Again,
this was
this is
on a made up, possibly on a made up site, because no one can prove this speech actually happened.
Right, but no one can disprove it either. As in the fact
Right.
that what's called like, no one recorded the speech that he's referring to.
Right,
And there, so again, this is. I don't think this is true in the sense of
but
like what's
so
called.
far the website that started this is a fake website.
Okay,
It's from what I've understand in the research of it.
I haven't done. Much
I read
research.
I read a bit of it this
I haven't
morning
done much research because I just read it this morning, and I was like, I gotta go before I can start thing. But
because
just
the weird thing, not weird, it's not even weird anymore. The what's going on in the internet is sites are popping up trying to say that they're satire and just spewing anything that they want to and then disappearing too. You know, because apparently Willie Nelson died yesterday. Now, this is the 12th time he's died in the last year.
right.
But I guess there's something about pot because he keeps coming back.
Well, how many times has the internet killed Jackie Chan, Sinbad? Who's the other one?
Sinbad
that,
died 4 times. I know.
like how many?
Rowan Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Why did you?
God damn it, Jay!
Why did you correct him?
It's what I
we
do.
could have had 15
It's what I
minutes
do.
of him trying to say that right.
That's what I do.
15 minutes.
He might not even be able to say it now.
Died a couple of days ago. Mr. Bean, and that he didn't die.
What's his name again?
Rowan Atkinson.
See
You
what
son
you
of a
did?
bitch!
How dare you?
I correct. That's what
You know
I
what?
do.
I'm canceling the podcast.
But what's called? But again, there's all these goofy stuff happening with the politics, and I don't think that the what's called the Puerto Rico thing happened. But it's amazing the fact that what's called it's not outlandish enough to be unbelievable.
Yeah, because you know this is the same
Given what
guy.
he said-
I think this is the same guy who says the Mexicans he likes the least are Puerto Ricans.
What?
This was about 3 weeks ago. Apparently, he again allegedly said, out of all the Mexicans, the one he likes the least are the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, daddy Puerto Ricans.
But what's called my favorite thing is that was called like. Have you heard about recently the D's Nuts thing? Where,
Please explain that to me.
Okay.
Because I'm dumb and I don't follow the internet.
Well, I haven't researched this thoroughly, but from what I understand, this kid filled out a form to run as D's Nuts. Like what's called this regular kid. What's
Run
called
for what?
president
Of these United States?
Yep.
Of D's nuts.
And he's polling at 9% in the Republican Party.
Makes sense.
Okay.
And
Sounds legit.
What's
Yeah.
this platform?
Huh?
What's this platform?
Oh, hold on. I can actually pull that up.
All right.
Give me 2 seconds.
As you're
That's
pick,
bad.
as you're
Jay's
checking
eating a
that out.
Dorito. He's going for a
Jay's
Dorito.
eating
You guys
Doritos.
are
I
horrible.
believe
Oh,
it's
look at-
nacho cheese flavored Doritos. Jay, what do you think of them? He seems to be enjoying it, or he's ambivalent. Am I using that word? right again?
Ambivalent?
Ambivalent.
You're
Right.
using the word right.
Okay.
So,
What you're
this,
using.
so this kid's name is Brady C. Olson.
Braden.
Brady.
Brady?
Like Bob Brady.
Tom
Brady
Brady?
Bunch.
Just say he's white. We figured that part now.
Brady.
Brady. The Brady Bunch.
No, I understand that, but Brady's usually a last name. Who uses it as a first name?
His parents.
Brady.
White people.
Mr. and Mrs. Olson named their first kid Brady. Or this kid Brady. It might be second, third. I don't know.
There's a white woman who named her kid Apple.
Excuse me. Would you give Clark Kent this kind of shit?
Yes. Clark? Really?
Clark?
Who the hell does he think he is?
Well, not if it's the 1930s.
So what's called?
Good point.
He was asked, "What do you think qualifies you to be president?" The fact that if I can fill out a form so vague that it doesn't include your age, or the fact that all get accepted even if they're only partially filled, anyone can run. Mm-hmm. So apparently
Right.
the form is so vague that he just was able to fill it out, and important facts like age.
All right.
This is how cats have become mayors in places.
Now I have a question. Where can I get this form?
Oh,
Because I got 2 years.
Post office.
Really?
They got every form.
Okay.
yeah, but apparently,
But you gotta go to the
if
Manhattan
if
branch.
this article is correct,
No,
because
34th
again, I'm not even
Street.
sure.
Got it.
The kid is 15 years old. He's about to be a high school sophomore.
Oh, sophomore.
Yeah, his parents know everything about this, and they gave him his blessing, and he got 9% in the latest polls in North Carolina, 8% in Minnesota, and 7% in Iowa.
You realize at this rate we're going to have President D's nuts in 2 years.
He's not a real person.
I know he's not in person,
And neither
But
is
that's-
Donald Trump, but he's been leading pretty quickly too.
but that's not my point. Okay? People are just going to look at the name and go, that's funny, and press click. Because that's what age we're in.
It's scary that idiocracy is becoming more of a
Documentary?
Prophecy?
a prophecy than it is anything else. Thank you.
Well, I think no.
Another one?
Yeah, you
much.
want me talking about this stuff sober?
Yeah, I mean, like what's called again. I don't really like to get too much into politics and stuff like that, just because I'm woefully ignorant and stuff like that.
I'm very ignorant, and about politics.
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 So,
You got J disease. You gotta correct me.
I didn't correct you. I asked you a question.
Yeah, I guess you did.
Politics. Ugh.
But what's called
What?
hearing the fact that what's called it actually made news that these nuts was 9% in the polls. Like that made state news. I was just like,
I don't know. To me, I was wondering if this kid really was named D's Nuts, and he was able to survive up to this age and still call himself that.
Personally, I'd rather vote for Dad Ass.
you want these nuts or that ass?
I would like that ass.
I can see that.
Depends on who Dad Ass is. Because
Don't matter.
if Dad Ass
If
is
the
Jay,
choice is these nuts or that ass,
yeah.
yeah, I'd rather have that ass.
Always go for that ass. No reason to go.
I'm not
that
going
ass.
for Dad Ass. I'm going for Dat Ass.
that ass.
Now you're splitting hairs of that ass.
Well, she has an airy ass. I don't know.
It's
You're
how
still
you.
voting for that over these nuts.
Well, it's a
You know
difference.
what? Yeah.
In this case, it's a difference between a T and a
It's
D.
either a bad merkin or balls. So yeah.
Damn undecided voters.
Yeah, but what's called?
Reminds me, I have to vote in the primaries.
I'm voting for Obama.
Okay. You know what? Let him vote for Obama. Don't say anything, Eric. I see you want to correct him. I see it.
I was going to ask him a question. You guys have got me mistaken with Jay.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around.
I was gonna ask
Bernie
you to
Madoff. Oh no, wait, it's the other Bernie. I gotta remember which Bernie it is. That's a good Bernie.
Burns. Bernie Burns. You're going to vote for Bernie Burns. That's who you want
Bernie
to vote for.
Bernsman?
No, Bernie Burns.
That's what I'm
Full
voting
stop. Yes.
for. Uh-huh. And what if I don't see his name on there?
They write it
Do
in.
I write in other?
No, you just write in Bernie Burns.
If I'm going to write in something, it's going to be Charles Johansson.
You're voting for Chippy Johansson?
Do you actually vote? Curious.
I haven't voted in quite some time.
That's a no.
I'm not registered.
I only registered this year.
Really?
I did it at the
I
DMV.
registered when I was 18, and then I voted a few times, and then once things expired, I just haven't gone back.
I don't think... Does voter registration expire?
Yeah, they take you off the rolls after a few years of not voting.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm the problem.
What's interesting is that what's called...
But the person who I wanted as president became president, so I counted.
So you wanted Bush twice?
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
You're a douche.
Mm-hmm.
It's your fault.
Uh-huh. Numbers don't lie.
Bernie, what was his name? Madoff?
No, Sanders.
Oh, Sanders.
You
Bernie
know what?
Sanders
You know
wants
what?
to make Election Day an actual holiday.
I don't mind taking
They
that
do
day
that in
off.
a lot of countries.
Yeah, I'm not-
fine with that. No.
I think the fact that what's called it's not. It's taken over 200 years for them to go. Hey, maybe we shouldn't have voting on a day when people are working.
I mean, we get a lot of teachers get a lot of days off of the Jewish calendar. I figure any days we can get off, why not take it off?
I still would have to work it.
We can't make that decision. The government has to.
Aren't we the government of the people, by the people, for the people?
You have no idea how the government works.
You'd have to work it, but would you at least get time and a half then?
It would have to be like a holiday like Christmas.
I
It would have to be on
understand the
that
three
level of
branches
holiday.
of
There's some
government.
holidays I don't get paid for.
You do not understand the two branches of government.
I understand we have three branches of government.
I'll give you that.
Name
I
them.
understand there's a government tree.
A government tree?
Hold on.
What?
Jay
no,
issued a
I
challenge.
want to get back to this.
No.
government
Jay
tree.
issued a challenge.
I heard a challenge.
Name the branches on the tree that LJ's
Can
talking
I name one of three?
Name all three.
Judicial. Okay, I may not be able to pronounce it correctly, but I could name them. Judicial? Fuck! Why can't I say judicial?
All right, we'll give you that one. Keep going.
So you've had 4 beers?
It might be meritorical and governmental.
What was the second one? Metaphorical? Is that what you said?
That was not what he
Editorial.
Editorial.
Editorial. Editorial. This what would it E? Editorial.
That doesn't count as naming it.
No, wait, hold on.
No. Yes, there is one with an E, but what is
By
it
the way, you
called?
got 2 of them wrong, just so you know that.
Judicial is incorrect?
No. You said 3.
I'm going to help you out here. Judicial is correct.
Judicial is correct.
So we can leave that one alone. Don't ever go back to that one
The
again.
weird thing is, you got the one most people missed. But, continue.
Editorial?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm in publishing. So that's, editors stick in your head, and you just hear that.
Who do you think is the editor in chief?
I
believe that's Obama.
I think we should vote in a new editor in chief of Section 8.
What? All right. How you like that?
Eric?
Jason. No, Eric has already a couple of titles.
We all have a couple of titles.
Dark Blood, Star's Edge.
Are you quitting now?
No. I'm going to drag this long until it gets uncomfortable for everybody. Yes, it is for me.
Oh, it's not going to be uncomfortable for me.
not
I'm
at
enjoying
all.
the fuck out of this.
You enjoyed it. Fuck. I'm just a bill. I'm sitting here, I'm comfortable. Well, off to the White House where I sit. Committee? No. This is like a long, I don't afraid that I will today. I'm still just a bill. Fuck.
Wrong song.
It's not in there.
Schoolhouse Rocks has failed you because you forgotten
You
which
chose
one
the
it
wrong
was.
song.
I chose
Yeah.
the wrong conjunction, junction.
No, that's grammar.
Conjunction, putting up three.
You
Dead air.
Editorial? No. Educational? Judicial is one of them. I'm going to blame the beer. Because I know I knew it.
Yeah, what, 10 years ago?
No, just a couple of years ago.
a couple of beers ago.
Only a few beers ago that I knew it was.
7 beers ago.
Our forefathers brought to this nation a new.
It doesn't help you at all. Trust me.
It's not in that speech either.
No, it's not.
Huh?
Three branches.
Do you know
of
what they
the
are?
government. I thought I knew what they were.
Not the names. Like
What
what,
do
they
they do?
Like what they do.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Do you know what the judicial system does?
Or who it is.
Or who it is? Well, what it is.
No.
All that information's gone.
He can name it, but
Currently, no, I can't. Oh, that,
By the way,
he
here's the
named
funny thing. I may or may not know it either.
I know. I
But
can
I
think
make
of one
sure
more.
I don't say I know things. The other day was called. Somebody said that was called. I'm rather intelligent. I'm like, no. I only talk about shit I know about. You ever notice like what's called? We go.
Don't give away the secret.
Yeah, I'm like. So before you Google it, it's legislative, executive, and judicial.
Legislative is the one I kept blanking on.
so you didn't know all three of them.
I never said I did.
Neither did
I never. Yes, you did.
I said I might have known. I can't be trusted with
You
beer.
still don't know what they do.
Huh?
You still don't know what they do.
Nobody knows what they do. That's the problem. No one knows what goes on in the
He got us
government.
there.
Yeah, he ain't wrong.
But who's
You know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know who's who?
They're supposed to help the
who?
people,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
don't do that either.
Who's the
President's the
executive?
president.
Who's the executive?
Executive what?
The executive branch of the government. Who's that?
You said it too. That's the worst
Okay, who's
part.
the legislative branch?
Vice president.
Who's the judicial branch?
The judge.
What judge?
The 7 judges that sit on top of that mountaintop and judge us all. It might not be a mountain.
You know, he's closer to the
There's
judicial than
envy,
the
pride. I don't know, but they all make Shazam somehow. And I bring it back to
And
college.
you actually are wrong because
He's closer than he.
envy and pride aren't part of Shazam.
That was a joke.
That was the joke part, because you have to pass those sins to get to Shazam's throne room.
And the fanboy part of me is correcting you.
No, they're in there.
No,
I
they're
know.
in there. You have to pass those, and envy and
I like how Wilson got all serious now.
Yeah, like he knows his comic book shit.
This shit I know.
All right, name the sins you have
That-
to pass.
Huh?
Name the sins.
The 7.
Which ones?
Sneezy, dopey, doc.
Can you name all 7 dwarfs?
No.
Sneezy, sleepy, dopey, doc. And then I get into Smurfs. Healthy. Hefty? No, that's
You're not-
Smurf. Okay.
And we've lost him.
No, I don't think I could.
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest.
I can, which is really weird.
Sneezy, dopey, doc.
Doc is one of the ones that most people forget. There's 3 that people usually get stuck on.
Usually on the list, Doc is usually the last one because he doesn't have the E sound at the end. So I can see a lot of
Lazy?
people forgetting
Is
that.
there a lazy?
No.
No.
Sleepy, sneezy, dopey, doc.
You say those 4 over and over again.
I like how you say that as if you named all 7.
Yeah, exactly.
You basically named 8 because you named the same 4 twice.
Well, Lazy is one, right? No, that's a Jefferson.
Cook,
No.
accountant, hefty, lefty,
Vanity. Brainy.
Papa Smurf.
brainiac,
Morphe. Lazy.
Superboy, Steel,
Gimli. Gloin.
Grumpy,
Grumpy's one.
Thorin?
I
now
said
up to
grumpy.
5.
I said grumpy.
No, you're
No,
now
no,
up
okay,
to,
so
you're now up to
5.
5. You have 2 left.
Feely and Keely?
I might have gotten confused because I've been saying the names over and over again in my head just to make sure I got them.
Lefty?
No!
He said it like 3 times.
Lefty righty? Lucy?
Goosey. Wait.
Do you give up? Do
Yeah.
you want to know them?
Yeah.
All right. I've forgotten them already.
So it isn't easy.
Dopey, Doc, Bashful, Grumpy,
Bashful. Happy.
Sleepy, and Sneezy.
What about Dopey?
I said that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I always said dopey in mine.
Okay.
Yeah. He left out
Bashful.
I left out bashful and happy.
Happy, and you at first you left out Grumpy.
And I left out grumpy at first.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to grumpy.
Bashful and Doc are 2 that most people forget because they don't have that E sound. But what's going on? Oh,
Can you name the Little Mermaid sisters?
God, no. I never watched The Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I didn't even know she had sisters.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has 7 sisters.
Because
Are they
King...
named after the oceans?
No.
We don't watch The Little Mermaid like that, Wilson.
Yeah, I wasn't around when Elizabeth was marathoning it as a little kid.
Yeah,
I was
she
upstate.
watched it so much that she burnt out 3 tapes.
VHS tapes. She burnt out through...
Well, what were they going to be? The Maxwell tapes from what's going on?
They could be.
And only burnt out 1 CD.
So I was going,
Didn't think you
what
could
other-
do that.
What other tapes would they have been?
Audio?
I couldn't name them, but they all start with the letter A.
Aretha?
Athena? Yeah, I don't remember. If I knew
The
the
Nina,
song.
the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. That would actually been clever. Anyway.
So there's this rumor, this fan rumor, that Disney turned around and said it's true. That apparently in Frozen, the rumor is when her parents went overseas and drowned, the mother was pregnant and the baby becomes Tarzan. And because of the look of the ship, it has the same look when they show the wreckage. That it looks like the same ship Tarzan's parents was on. Now, when you look at the drawings of the parents from Frozen
and Frozen?
they look very similar.
Well, isn't
And then someone in Disney recently said they are the same parents. But it's like, but no, because Tarzan's last name is Greystoke.
In Tarzan, the movie is Greystone, or Tarzan
In
general is Greystone? Because
I believe in general.
In
like
general,
the original story.
in the
okay, but
original
what about
story.
in the Disney story? What's his last
I
name?
don't know. I have to look it up, but I
don't think
thought
they
it
mention
was.
his name.
Because they could
They
just
may
say
not have.
he doesn't have. It's different than the story. We're just using the name.
Because we're still in the old stories. I mean, using the old stories.
No, you're right. You're not too
Isn't,
far.
what's her name also in there? The chick with the long hair?
Tangle?
Well, that's not her name.
Rapunzel?
Yeah, her.
What about her?
I think she's in Frozen.
She is.
She is. She visits
And-
that
What's his name? Chuck. What the fuck is his name?
Ryder.
Ryder. Flynn.
Finn.
Somebody. That guy. Ryder.
Eugene.
Ryder. Eugene Ryder. He's
Well, Eugene was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
the guy that Rapunzel meets.
And
Okay.
marries.
I believe he's also there
Yeah.
with.
Yes, they go together to visit that wedding.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so.
Or that event.
Wedding?
No,
No,
not,
it
not
was
the
a
wedding.
coronation.
The coronation.
Okay.
Coronation? This is bad comedy, Starscream. Sure, I'll bring it back to a joke 25 years old. Fine, whatever.
Old.
You all got the reference.
Old.
What are we at?
53.
About here.
53.
53. All right. But I think it's time for Wilson to have a nap. I think he's had way too many beers.
At 2. Or 3.
Got 4 bottles in front of him.
And he
Yeah,
has
but
some,
one of
he has
them is
some
mine.
reading up to do in American government.
A lot of reading
What?
up.
I knew that stuff.
You knew it. Whether or not you know it is a
Hey.
different story.
As an American, I was born here, and I'm glad I don't have to take that test to become an American. Because most of us will fail.
Touche.
Most of us, like...
Me and
citizens
LJ.
Or what's going
I'm
on
talking
before?
about me and LJ. Jay, I don't know. He's kind of
Actually,
smart.
I think I would
And
pass it.
you, If it was on Muppets, yeah, you would get it. But I don't know if you would.
There was a lot of American history on Muppets.
That's true, too.
I'm not going to lie. Most of my knowledge comes from TV shows and cartoons and absorbing that stuff. I know there's 3 branches from, what's called, Schoolhouse Rocks.
That failed me today.
Well, that's because you're saying the wrong song.
Yeah.
You're saying the wrong song twice.
So which song should I have sung?
I don't know. I didn't watch Schoolhouse Rocks. I actually hated Schoolhouse Rocks.
Well, how did you hate Schoolhouse Rocks?
It interrupted the cartoons.
No, it didn't.
It interrupted the cartoons I liked.
It was part of the whole situation.
Hold on. Were you watching cartoons, and in the middle of the cartoons, they immediately cut to a scene of Schoolhouse Rock?
It was like a commercial break kind of thing.
Yeah, they were commercials in between cartoons.
And it annoyed me because it just made the cartoon less time of the cartoon I was watching. That's what it felt. Okay, hold on. I'm like 5 or 6.
I'm asking the questions.
Okay.
As your body goes bigger, as your mind goes stronger. It's great to learn because knowledge is power.
By chance, the other commercials piss you off?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything that took me away from the cartoon and just made me unhappy.
That's all.
Yeah, you didn't watch TV in the 80s. It was G.I. Joe commercials.
Yeah.
Obviously.
They were good G.I. Joe commercials.
Why didn't you watch TV in the 80s?
Well, I don't think I was watching... I don't recall how much TV I was watching in the 80s. Only thing I recall is up to about 89. As far back...
Schoolhouse Rock even still on?
Yes. Maybe up to 88, because I was watching it in the 90s. They showed it a lot on Channel 7.
Well, that's
the only channel.
That's the only channel that showed it.
Yeah, and then... Because Saturday morning, Channel 7 still had cartoons.
Yeah, I know.
7, 11, and 2. And then Fox jumped in, and then 7 dropped out, and then everyone just stopped showing Saturday morning cartoons.
It's weird hearing that they're gone.
There is no such thing as Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still watch cartoons on Saturday morning, but I got Netflix.
Well, no, you're picking your cartoons and stuff.
That's
like
right.
It's not like you're restricted.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I had to wait for the shows I wanted.
But you know what?
Yeah.
What
I
I
had to sit through crap.
And then you had to sit through the...
But you know what I hate now? Is I don't discover new cartoons like I used to. Like what's it called? I had to
Now,
wait till
you had to make the choice of which cartoon you were watching at what time.
Oh,
And on what channel?
I remember being a kid.
As a kid of the 80s, we were making Sophie's choice every weekend.
If a good week.
I'm sorry, that wasn't topical.
Like, I know, like, on Channel 11, between this time and this time, I could watch Animaniacs, Freakazoid, and that one with the dogs. I forgot the name of it. Where the dogs
Puppies?
No, it was one where they become like humanoid dogs and they saved the world, but they were leaders dogs. So like each dog was like one was an English dog,
Rescue
one
Rovers?
I think that was it. So like I could watch an hour and a half of that. Then if I switch to another channel, I could then watch like another set of cartoons. And then if I go to this channel, then I can watch these cartoons.
All shitty cartoons.
And then you had those cartoons that were on like really early in the morning before school, so you actually woke up early to see them.
Robotech.
RoboCop.
No,
Miss Robotech
Robotech.
entire.
No, I'm saying,
The entire series of
Because I was on
Robotech
my way to
was
school
on at
during
5 in the
Robotech.
morning.
No, I'm just saying another one was like
Pissed me off.
one of the RoboCop cartoons were on that early.
If you got home quick enough, you could get to watch Thundercats.
The Marvel Action Hour.
That was on the weekend.
No, there was one that was in the morning because that's where I like always caught
That
the
was Sunday
end.
morning with RoboCop.
No, but there was one that were almost always caught the end of Pride of the
Waited
X-Men.
for the fucking X-Men one, and you kept missing it.
Yeah.
Pride of the X-Men.
Where they showed the shit out of Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Now it's my turn. Wolverine with an Australian accent.
Yeah. You know, it was so funny because I thought he was Australian. Until I read the comic books, I thought he was Australian and stuff like that. Because I
thought he was Japanese.
Really?
When I was reading the comics, when I started reading X-Men, he was already in Japan, getting ready to get married with Narushi? Mariko? Thank you.
Mariko.
With Mariko. And,
Mariko.
you know, he's in there
Did he have the
speaking
organic webs yet?
Japanese. No. Wolverine didn't have the organic webs yet.
I'm just checking.
Because that didn't happen in that history. You're thinking of the 212 universe. You might have, peeked into it in your
Keep
travels. So I thought he was a Japanese person. Because again, up to that time, he was always in the mask. And when he would be out of the mask was in that series is when I read it. So I thought he was Japanese. I had no idea he was Canadian until way into the series.
Didn't they undo that?
He was always Canadian as far as I remember in the comic books.
I thought they undid that in the origin. I thought he was now what's called like Northern American.
No, he was Canadian. Or he was North American enough to still be Canadian.
No. I thought
in
that was
Origins.
I don't remember the origin right now. For some reason, I thought they changed where he was to make him American.
No, as far as I remember, he was always Canadian.
Okay.
Even in that Origin series.
Yeah, that.
Which did absolutely nothing for that story.
You know what it was? The story was poorly done, and then they made a poorly done movie about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was called.
And they did that story in order for the movie not to tell you the story.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You know,
the
they
reason
turn
why.
around and like, well, we don't want the movie telling the origin. Like, apparently people at Marvel were upset that they named Rogue as Marie.
Yeah.
Although they asked the people who created Rogue, what would you have named Rogue? And it turned out to be Marie. So, as the legend
I don't see her
goes.
as Marie.
Huh?
I don't see her as a Marie.
Well, what's funny is that what's called I remember back in the time there was a huge desire to know about Wolverine's background, but I always thought like we know less about Rogue than we do about Wolverine, like because she had such little screen time, for lack of a better phrase, in the comic books. We found out more like, oh well, we know he spent some time in Japan. We know this about that and stuff like that. We know he's old and so.
Right.
Rogue, all we know is that what's called.
She was part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Absorbed most of all of Carol Davis's powers.
Carol Davis.
Davis?
Yes, Carol Davis. We're moving on.
Danvers'
Very
powers.
Can you get another beer?
If I gotta listen to this shit, I want another beer. And at that point, I think pretty much.
And that was basically
Oh, she was
it.
raised by what's her name?
She was raised by Mystique.
Do you want a beer? But I mean, but we had much less information on Rogue than we did on Wolverine. And, stuff like
And
that.
she was a lot older when she first joined.
Oh yeah, what's called?
Oh,
She was
drawn,
like
very old
like
looking.
wrinkled and
No, she was supposed to be an old woman when she started.
Really?
Yeah.
she was kind of an older woman.
No,
And then for a while she looked
wasn't
like
kind of.
Olivia
She
Newton-John.
She was an older woman when her hair was gray on the sides. The first drawing. Supposed to
I always thought it was
illustrate-
just like
No, it's first when she first appears. I think she takes out like the Avengers or something like that.
Yes.
Really
Yeah.
quick. Her hair is gray on the sides, and then when they decided, oh, this character's going to be cool, they gave her the one gray streak to make it like her mutant power instead of the Reed Richards "I'm old."
I thought it was just a birthmark.
Later on, when they introduced the characters, what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
The concept that they had originally was just to be this old lady who was really powerful.
You know, it's the same thing like when they introduced Marrow. She was a butt-ugly character. And then when she became popular,
They prettied her up.
she became pretty up.
They
Like, all the Morlocks. Once
Callisto?
they became... Yeah,
Callisto
once they
became
started
hot.
getting...
Yeah.
she didn't become pretty; she became hot. Like
Well, okay, but I'm saying
They
she
always
was ugly.
drawn. They
Yeah.
always drawn
Yeah.
that kind of like. My understanding was like the character, as they described her, not what they drew, was supposed to be a very attractive character.
no.
But that's
Callisto?
and then she like got scarred, and then she was a mutant, and that's how she got outcasted. But she was supposed to be a very she was never drawn that way. Let me just say that right now. But the way they always described her is that she was attractive. Up until they found out she was a mutant, and that's why she was also supposed to be like one of the more normal looking
I don't know what.
Morlocks that had a scar. That's like where her defining
Well, here's the
feature
thing:
too.
is that Mask was a character in the Morlock who basically wrecked everybody's appearance on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They basically said, if we're going to be outcasts and stuff like that, let's be outcasts. And they would go to Mask and he would fuck your face up and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I
Mask.
do not recall
Another
if
good show.
she
Go
was
on.
supposed to be, if Callisto was supposed to be attractive before she went down.
Okay.
I know at one point there was a whole thing where she was turned into like a supermodel, beautiful and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I
She's kind
remember.
of weird. And then after that, she got scarred again. But I don't know if that's a repeat of what happened to her before she became a Warlock, or if that was just. Yeah, I went in and out of comics repeatedly and stuff like that, and I'm only I've just recently reread a bunch of stuff. Sorry, not reread. Read for the first time a bunch of old stuff because of the one penny deal that they had with the Ant-Man thing. And I wish DC was doing something similar because having a back catalog to just go to, it's just kind of fun. When it's like, oh, let me just read this for a little while. I just read the entire X Factor run with who wrote that? Peter David.
Peter David.
Yeah, that run, which was it was actually a really great run. I thought it was really well written. But I don't recall like that whole Callisto story and stuff like that. I just know that was cool. When she was first introduced, she was ugly as fuck. And what's cool, had she become more popular, she probably would have become hotter. More popular the character gets. Oh, we can't let him be ugly. Oh, fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Boulder's still fat, and there's so many people who love that character.
Well, wasn't like the whole thing behind Boulder was that he doesn't wait? My thing, he's the one who was in the Avengers Initiative book.
Yes,
where his metabolism or his power was such that no matter what he did, he wouldn't change.
His basically he had the ultimate invulnerability. His body would never change ever again.
Yeah,
it was frozen at the state it was when his power came out. Unfortunately, that also means that he cannot grow muscle. It stays at the same state it was. He cannot get.
Can he get a hard on?
Huh?
he probably got a hard on.
Well, he can maintain the same functionality that he had.
Oh, okay.
So
Ball of the Brave?
Huh?
Not Balder.
Boulder. You know what a big rock is?
Yeah.
What is that?
Boulder.
That's it.
I don't recall this character.
It was like one of the most interesting characters they wrote for one issue.
They did a one shot with him, and then he, for like a good 5 or 6 years, he would always be in the background of anything that had to do with. This was when after the Civil War. God, I'm so geeky. This is after the Civil War when
they were training
Green Goblin. What's his name?
Norman Osborn
was running S.H.I.E.L.D., but they called it
Hammer.
What
does it mean? You make it mean something. Yeah. I'm going to my office.
While he was doing that,
Hammer time.
Boulder was a character they introduced, and like for like the entire time that whole thing was going on, whenever they needed to show a rescue team for them, this character would pop up.
Okay.
Because that's what they basically did. They ended up moving him to rescuing because he couldn't get stronger and because he had no agility or anything like that. They were like, what's called, you're best served as rescue. You can go into a burning building and pull somebody out and stuff like that.
Okay. Literally, what would happen if an average comic fan got powers?
I actually, one time, a long time ago, was like, what's called, what was the most useless power in the world? And invulnerability by itself is one of the most useless powers. Because you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need something else to help you.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought was fucked up.
What?
In the X movies, we finally get like a black male character.
Which movie?
In First Class.
Okay.
And this man's got the power to not die, and they find a way to kill him off
Quickly too.
very quickly. I liked him too. I liked his power.
Stupidly. I was just like...
Here, eat this.
Well, that's another thing. Shaw's powers didn't make sense in that movie either.
Yeah.
But
So just like, wouldn't his powers like keep him from not dying? Like, wouldn't have?
Nope.
Wouldn't the fact that his powers kept him from dying figure out a way?
They
to
wanted that
reject
man dead.
That thing.
They
wanted him
wrote
dead.
themselves into a corner, basically, and realized, oh, we made the most powerful mutant, and we had plans to kill him.
Because you also have Shaw. Shaw was a pretty powerful mutant, too, in that movie.
No, but Darwin's...
They took the minorities and got rid of them as quickly as possible. That's
what's
what
funny
they
is
did
that
in
was called...
movie.
In the comic book, they've used his ability against him a few times in interesting ways. Mm-hmm. Like, what's called... he took a lot of damage one time. And he basically turned into, like, this Jello-like creature. And he's like, fucking Jello? Like, what am I going to do? Like, he had to basically wait till the effect wore off before he could be of use. Mm-hmm. He couldn't get hurt, but he's like, he couldn't be in the fight. Had they done something along the lines of like what's called Darwin was taken out of the fight for a little while,
Neutralize him.
I would have been okay. But just randomly killing this guy,
like his body is stuck in a stasis because it's trying to keep him from dying would have been more interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I understand the effect of what's called wanting to kill one of the team members and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think...
I thought you were going to say wanted to kill a black guy. I'm sorry.
No,
that's just Hollywood.
You got to understand, I don't hate people because of their race. I hate them because they're people. It has nothing to do with their race.
Fist pound.
People are people.
Yeah. The fucking bastards.
Let's not start quoting Muppets in Manhattan.
And then they have a Latino girl, and they make her a bad guy.
Yes.
After she was a stripper.
After she was a stripper, yeah.
It wasn't like she came from a nice, what's it called, family or something like that. No, they found a stripper and she turned into a villain.
Just like life.
That hurt you a little bit too much, huh?
No.
You had an ex-girlfriend who did something to you or cut you somewhere. Show me on the doll where they hurt you.
Where do I point to for emotion?
Just point on the Spidey.
Where's the emotion?
Aren't they
Where do I
supposed
point
to
to
touch?
emotion?
No, girls are not supposed to cut you.
I've been in some fucked up relationships. Never mind. Anyway,
All right, I think it's time we wrap this up.
you think we should end it there?
Yeah.
So, for At the 8 Spot podcast, I'm Wilson.
I'm Eric.
I'm Jay.
And I'm LJ.
We're out.